Welcome in, Greg Ruff and Mark Elliott, our athletic director here at Trevecca, and just a little bit of an end of the season recap of everything that's gone on. We're at the end, Mark, of our first NCAA full season at Division II. We're almost there, not quite. Finish line is in sight. We've still got some games to play.
That's right.
What has it been like this year for you, from your chair and from your view?
You know, I've told the story several times about after the press conference announcing that we were full-fledged members of Division II. Then that was on a Friday, and the next Monday we came into the office and we all sat down and we started looking around and go, what do we do next? What do we do now? Because so much of the energy and time invested over the last 3 years has been into that process of transitioning. So now that we're already there, there's a lot of things that we still have to do with regards to conference affiliation and a lot of the things that we have to do from a compliance standpoint with NCAA Division II. And yet, there's a lot of open time now that how do we fill that and how do we go forward? How do we increase our facilities? How do we increase our attendance? How do we increase? So now we're at the job of trying to push forward, get better, do more with the resources that we currently have.
One of the things that I think has been really neat is something that you kind of comes from your heart. And if I was to say, this is Mark Elliott, and what it means to work with Mark Elliott, and maybe what his vision is Christian, scholar, athlete. Talk about that a little bit.
In that order is really the crux and the foundation of what all athletic departments should be, particularly at Christian-related schools. With ours, it's built in, and the people that have gone before us, Brenda Patterson, Alan Smith, the presidents in the past, have laid that foundation, and people that have played here, they understand that that's what is supposed to be. How do we repeat that over and over, continue to beat the drum for athletes, for recruits, to let them know that that's what we stand for, and that we will continue to stand for that, and that we want to get better in those areas all the time. Mission statements and vision statements can also be, way out there, and what I wanted to make sure for our athletes, our staff, all the people that are related to Trevecca athletics, is that those are the foundations, and it's just 3 words, and it is in order, and that's what we're going to stand on: Christian, scholar, athlete.
And there's been a lot of progress in those areas, but like you said, it's not something you can do once. You got to keep doing it, and I think that's been good. And I've seen that this year with a lot of different areas, with the I Am Second, with the things with KK Ray that have been done here in the spring too. We look at the spring. I mentioned the spring, and a lot of success in the spring. Talk about the spring coaches, the athletes, and the championships. Start first with Alexa Rippey and what that means to you and to the athletic department. Cross country went to the region in the fall. Alexa had to meet a criteria that was really high, and she was the first one to do that. That's pretty special, isn't it?
Every one of our athletes are special.
Yes.
And we really want to look at them as on an individual basis. But Alexa Rippey, you just say her name and you have to smile.
Yeah.
She is just the best. And I'm so proud of her, and I'm so proud of the program because, we were in quite a bit of a transition between the first semester and the second semester. And Dave Head has come in and done a great job communicating and yet at the same time making it his program. And the athletes have bought in, and Alexa has played really good golf. She is the 4th of 4 individuals invited to the regional, and has a good chance of moving on to the national tournament. So we just wish her well and hope that she does the best. But it'll always be special because she's the first that qualified through the qualification process. The first one ever to do that for us in Division II of NCAA. Cross country guys it was a different process, but when you see it on the national website, ncaa.org, that there's a Trevecca athlete that has been invited to an NCAA tournament, that's a big deal. It really is a big deal.
That is.
Spring sports have been great, but you know what? Quite honestly, I expect them to be great. We're the southernmost school. We have the best weather, and we should be good because of the foundation that's been there in the past. So, but sometimes when it's expected, it's harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them to fulfill the expectations, softball to win the conference, baseball right at the cusp of winning the conference, those are good signs and good health for our spring sports.
And there's also, and we know this, there's a target on our spring sports teams, and justifiably so, and we're the same way maybe in some other areas. But when people beat us in our spring sports, it's a celebration.
It's a big deal. Yes,
Yeah,
you can
is.
see that. I can
And
guarantee.
that's a great honor to have, really.
It is, and it increases the responsibility. The coaches feel it, and I feel it, and I can guarantee you that there's a few schools that have Trevecca at home coming to their place. That's circled, and they're looking forward to
And that's what we
playing.
want, right? That's absolutely the goal. Men's and women's golf won the GMAC championship again. The men did it in dramatic fashion, coming from 15 down. Talked with David Head about that the other day. Track won 7 individual championships. And I don't think people understand, in that sport, we are new, very, very new, and very, very young. And to win 7 championships was pretty spectacular.
Big deal. We have spoken this. We knew this was going to happen. We are not going to win the track championship because of the way we're constructed.
Mm-hmm.
The cross country team was going to be a year-round running program, and so we're using the cross country runners, the distance runners, to fill our track team. So we don't have big numbers.
Yeah.
So in those 7 championships, for example, we could win the championship or win the first place in those events. And another school could finish second, third, fourth, and they outscore us because they have more people, more resources. And so we weren't out to win the track championship, but we were out to win championships, events, and we did well in the conference meet. We're pleased with where we are with it, and it'll only get more.
Yeah. You're a dad. I'm a dad. I understand this. Your son, who plays basketball, may have played other sports too, but I think primarily he's played basketball his whole life, has never run track, went out and helped the track and field team, became part of the field team, and won a GMAC championship in the high jump. Am I saying that right? Or the triple jump. Yeah. He finished second in the high jump. That had to make you very, very proud.
It did. The GMAC track meet is a conglomeration of good track teams, but also some that they're new at the sport, so they're grabbing football team players to come in, and there are a lot of good athletes out there. And Christopher decided he wanted to help the track team, and he has thoroughly enjoyed it, and found out he was actually pretty good at it. And as a dad, I was at the track meet, and I was really pulling for all of our athletes, but had the camera out, was taping him, and was real proud of his efforts. And it was kind of surprised for him to do the high jump and get second in the high jump. Darn near won that one too. The one funny thing, and I have to tell you, we've got great kids. One of his very, very good friends is Ben Maroney. Ben Maroney is a fantastic runner for us, and Ben,
a great one of our best athletes off the field.
Absolutely. He and Christopher are going to be roommates next year. But anyway, Ben was mad at Christopher. He said, "You outscored me in the meet," and he didn't talk to him the rest of the day. But they were having a lot of fun together. Really good camaraderie. Austin Selby's done a good job with that team of building chemistry, and that's a good team. It's a good program. They're only going to go get better as time goes on.
We'll conclude with baseball, softball. Both those coaches have done a terrific job. They've won a whole lot. I was going through the notes for, and we don't really celebrate other than the 100, 200, 300, but Ben Tyree has won 250 games now. Ryan Schmalls went over 100, not even through his third year. A lot of wins, and they do it with good kids.
Do it in a class way, do it in a Christian way. They support that foundation of Christian scholar athlete.
Oh, you look at the GPAs on both those teams.
That's right.
Tremendous.
They are. And if I could say this too, I'll step out on a limb here. In most college universities, and maybe even in the past at Trevecca, the baseball team maybe didn't have the greatest reputations because they're a lot of testosterone, and they're out there. And a lot of temptations come their way. Our baseball program is first class, and the culture gets set by the head coach. And the culture of our softball team, culture of our baseball team, very strong. Yeah,
absolutely. I one of the things that in my role, I deal with the coaches on a lot of stuff, and both those coaches. They think about the little things. They think about the alumni. They think about the history. They think about the parents. And some of the things that they come up with and ask me to do, it's like you just want to run through a wall for them. And I would say that about all of our coaches, but in particular those two in the spring, they really do embrace the tradition and the history of their programs, and I think that's really pretty neat.
Well, before we get off, I'd be remiss to say I think one of the great advances that we've had this year, and one of maybe the greater successes, is how your department has moved forward. E-Chronicle, website, live stream. You and your team, David Klinkowski and all, Maria Worrell, all have put together this package that really has us on the forefront of the conference. But I think, quite honestly, we've in a sense almost maxed out those resources with what we have. We will stay right here for a while, try to do as much as we possibly can, but we're on the cusp of making the next step. And what the next step is, I can't really tell you right now.
Yeah.
But to go forward, we're going to need additional resources. But I can't say we have maxed out the resources that we have. But what we have right now is as good as anybody in the conference. And from going from the old printed media guides to now what we have on the audio and visual side of things is a huge success for our program, and maybe one of the bigger successes, along with our sports medicine program of the first year of NCAA.
I would say the sports medicine folks have done a pretty good job over there, Jared and Ben and Steph and all those folks. But thank you and for your support in what we've done, and also to the folks at ITS and David Caldwell. All those people have really supported and helped us get the resources that we need. But we'd love to do more.
That's right.
And we will always try to do more.
And we'll do more.
Yes, absolutely.
Stay tuned.
He's Mark Elliott, and you can keep up with all of our activities in Trevecca Athletics at teenutrojans.com.